Okay, so I am here this afternoon at Hotel de Van filming the Emma Jayne show. We're looking at mental health today. We've been having a very real open discussion today about education, knowledge, the NHS, medication. We've put it all out there, and this platform is to really support and give back to anyone who's going through difficult times, anyone who's suffering with mental health, anyone who's suicidal, bipolar, suffering with very difficult, vulnerable, lower self-esteem issues, anyone who's been diagnosed with BPD. It goes on and on and on. So we've discussed labels. Are we being labelled when we could do so much more to support and help ourselves? So here we are, we're with Lauren, Chris, Laurel and Kev. And there's four of my guests this afternoon. We are talking about mental health and the effects of it on our life. So how has it affected your life, Kev?
Oh, massively. It's had a big impact, and I think the sooner I understood that I had a mental health condition, the better my life became. Gave me something to work with. I understood it a lot more, and I took more time to try and allow myself to feel healthier mentally.
And so you've turned yours around because you're now going into physical fitness, and physical fitness has supported and facilitated your mental and emotional state.
Yeah. Physically, I enjoy going to the gym and lifting weights. That feels great. I'll go on the punch bag. That feels great as well. Just sometimes you just need to let out a bit of frustration. And I'm a yoga teacher as well. I love teaching yoga. I was your typical lad. Years ago, I would never go to a yoga class. I thought, that's not for me. But as soon as I went along, I felt a lot better about myself, and I thought, yeah, I really want to help other people now with that.
So you're giving back what you've learned, and actually you've given yourself a voice, and your voice is now supporting other people, because it's still I mean, even though we do talk about it, we had two princes talking about it, raising awareness, it's still very taboo, isn't it, Laurel?
It's absolutely taboo, and we feel a lot of shame and guilt because it's something that cannot be seen physically, so we have to hide it. But ultimately, I think if we dare to look in ourselves and have a real relationship with ourselves, it can take us to a much better place, and we can celebrate ultimately the journey that we call our lives.
Why do we have to hide it?
It's a very good question, isn't it? If you have an issue from a young age, then children always think it's their fault. It doesn't matter how violent or abusive the situation is, they will take it upon themselves. They just want to be loved, and if they feel they're not loved, they feel there's something wrong with them, and then they feel ashamed at not being good enough.
And then you take that through into your life.
Absolutely.
And medication, have you taken medication, Chris?
Yes.
And did you feel that you needed it, or did you just get handed it without any kind of thought or consideration?
I felt I needed it. If you're suffering enough and you're not functioning, then I would suggest that you must see the doctor, you must get help. Particularly men, you must actually acknowledge that you're ill. It's an illness.
Why do you say particularly men? Do you think it's because men have a pride or don't want to be seen as...
I think it's seen as a weakness a lot of the time, but it's not. It's a strength to be able to talk about how you feel. Is a strength.
Yeah.
Do you feel relieved now you've talked about it and shared your story?
And thanks very much for this platform. It's putting it out there to the men who are in a dire straits, who are really, really suffering. You have got to take action. You must see a doctor. You must get help, and you must find hope and reclaim your life again. You can do it, no matter how bad you're suffering. And you might think, well, he doesn't know. I can. I did. No matter how bad you're suffering, you will get through it. You've got to believe that. You've got to hang on to that belief. I'm really talking to guys that are suicidal now.
And so, we've talked about suicide and how it's affected, that you've gone to those moments of feeling that desperate, and you didn't follow through. What stopped you?
What stopped me? My creativity, being able to get out there, to do something. So I taught myself how to edit, I teach myself anything creative, and always very, very small, tiny little goals. Getting out of the house. I have a very loving husband. I'm very, very lucky. A really good marriage. And even though I don't have kids and I don't have family, I feel that if I can get out of the house and I can go to a meditation, to be around positive people, then my state changes very quickly. I can get out of it, but I have been really, really low. And you know what? I have absolutely no shame and guilt about this.
And you shouldn't.
Not at all, because I don't believe
we're all
in it.
amazing.
I don't believe in mental illness. I'm sorry. I have loads of respect for everybody. I think you're amazing. I totally agree with what you said. If someone is suffering, you go to the doctor. I won't. I'll go and do a meditation, or I'll go and do something.
That's what works for you.
We're all different.
And that's why we've got to remember everyone's
all
different. And so what you need, what Chris needs, what Laurel needs, what Kat needs, what I need, we're all different. But it's finding what our different is. Because we're told to go to the doctors or to a therapy, or no, what about looking inside, as to your point earlier, let's find that voice. Let's open up, let's share, and if we need to take medication, that's okay. If we can find the support through therapy and creativity, that is also okay. So the conversation could go on and on and on.
But we also have to be very careful, because when someone goes to the doctor, there's so many cases now of people going with grief and getting a bipolar label. And not only that, there's a lot of people that I'm meeting, like I know someone definitely who her father died, and she started hearing voices. And she didn't go to the doctor. She went to a psychic development group, and she is a medium. And I'm a medium as well. And so it's such a huge thing that if you go to a doctor, I personally feel you will only get that one thing. If you go to a holistic doctor who knows everything, and they are out there, you'll get everything. You'll get everything.
It goes down to personal preference and what you need and what you can do.
Again,
and what's going on, and we're, that's why it's such a big subject. And are we ever going to find out in our lifetime any answers?
No, but it's great that we're all
No, but we're talking about it, and because we're talking about it, we hope to be able to support. So I'm going to be with the boys this afternoon filming, and the shows will be out in a few weeks. Stay tuned.
Thank you.
Thank you.